Hey guys, what's going on? It's Giga here. I thought I'd go ahead and make another video on our little sequence that we've got going on. Today we are actually moving from Limgrave and moving into Liurnia. Spoilers before I get too far into this, but we are going to be talking about some bosses and places that we're going to be after Godric's boss fight. I guess technically you don't have to beat Godric in order to do this. I actually don't know how you do that, but what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to talk about the level design, honestly just the amazing atmosphere that goes on with this, and I hope you guys think that it brings up some discussion in terms of what other open worlds might need to follow with, you know, what's good, what's bad, things like that. And also just to love how amazing this game is. But yeah, tell me what you think is cool about it. Definitely leave comments if you want to. I'm open to talk about anything and everything with this. So, with that being said, so going into Liurnia, one really interesting thing that they do, especially after you've just gone through the dungeon and fought Godric the Grafted, is they open up the world both visually and truthfully story-wise. You obviously have this tale of two paths. To the left, which is personally where I ended up going to, you are led through the kind of like the lower levels, if you will, through the kind of swampiness, and into what I believe are called the Albinarics. Don't ask me how to say that. But you're led into this area. It's under a cliffside. We can actually go there right now. And it's definitely one tale of the story. You can obviously find a very special item here. I won't be too spoiling about it, but just in case you're wondering if you should be looking for a certain person to talk to, this guy right here is very important. I'm just kidding. Not this guy. Excuse me. Okay, well that would have been really embarrassing. I believe he's like right over here when you, or actually, this might be him over here. Yeah, this is him over here. Talk to him if you want something special. Just gonna tell you that right now. But so this whole area, the Albinarics, talking about how they're basically almost abandoned by Albus, is certainly one tale. Meanwhile, when you move over to this right side of the pathway, or the right pathway, what you end up being, or like discovering, is that there's this whole level of different magicians, different towers, which eventually leads to this Church of Vows. And so on this path, you'll see many different magicians that are trying to use different spells at you, obviously leading into what is it? I should know this. Academy of Raya. So you can see how that kind of relates. But this Church of Vows plays into the story very, very well. That was a little trippy. With Big Dog right here. We love Big Dog. He's awesome. You can talk to him right now. Why not?
Very well. That heresy is all.
And so what it really, really does in terms of level design is it's both leveling out the playing field in terms of you can go down into the steps area, you can eventually skirt out to the left side here, which can lead you all the way up through to the north, which I will get into at another time, or it will dive you down into this swamp area like I mentioned before, which then leads you to the, I was about to say post here, but where is it? That's the main academy gate. There is it might be the south Raya Lucaria gate. Let's go check it out actually. And so what it does is it offers you two options. One being much more exploratory. Yeah, much more exploratory. You obviously go through this castle area. If you're looking for how to get into this, which I'm sure most of you have, but in case you haven't, I would highly recommend looking out into this region right here. You'll probably meet a very interesting enemy. Don't try to beat him, just grab the item it's protecting. That's my tidbit for you. Or on the other hand, is this a merchant right here? It's Mala. But so on the other hand, you can go all the way up and around, and you know, as you come up here, you come to the Grand Lift of Dactus, so you can see how it's progressing you further through the story, leading you up for a greater pathway as well. Meanwhile, this left side actually gets you to Vicaria Manor, which will really instigate some new storyline action. My favorite storyline, honestly, which I need to do a whole video on that as well. But as you choose your pathway, I feel like it really offers this incredible, and I'm going to go back to this lake-facing cliffs bonfire, grace, whatever you want to call it. It offers this really interesting dichotomy of how you want to progress through the game. Oh, that's not fun. Come on, game. How do I wait? Past time. There we go. I've actually never done this in the game. I just know you can't. Are you serious? Let's try this again. And so it's truthfully incredible, because not only do they give you the option, but they are trying to show you, and especially as this side leads towards the Erd's tree, obviously mine's on fire, which is a whole other aspect of the game. It really, the game designers did a fantastic job of showing you specifically two different options in that sense. Obviously this leads away from the main story, this leads towards, especially with this Divine Tower Bridge right here, but it's showing you from the get-go, hey, there is still something over here. There's obviously a minor Erd tree. You want to go this way. There is good content over here. Don't forget about it. Obviously we're getting some fog. I was going to call it fan, but fog. And so I think it's just exceptional. I really, really do. Something that I think they could have done better with this, particularly though, is you can obviously see Raya Lucaria at the end there. One thing that I think they really could have done better is, instead of doing this gate idea that's locked by a random key that gives you a silly little note that you can try and figure it out by, or you can go through the top here and then hopefully maybe potentially find your way through all the dungeon to get this one other key. I really think they could have been a little more straightforward with it. I wish they could just had an NPC that marks this location with a red X, which they've done in other parts of the game. And so I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know. But then once to summarize here for a second, the beautiful aspect of this is, as you get this swirling storm coming all straight into this area right here, it all centers around what eventually becomes both this, and I did that to try and show you this superior, inferior aspect of the game. So Renala, if we go to Renala, spoiler alert, if we go to Renala, obviously she's holed up in her library, and she's holding her egg here, her son that she's hoping to be reborn. If you guys don't know, there's some more spoilers with Millennia and Mikola. She's not very happy about the fact that she's cursed to have children that are not healthy. And so I do think part of the reason that she's locked in this library, she's trying to find a cure to her curse. Which is kind of sad, honestly, which is why she does the rebirthing thing. And she says, oh, you've been reborn perfectly. You can see how all that kind of lines up. And it also is interesting how in this chest, if you guys haven't opened it yet, is part of Ranni's quest line, and how she's holding something of Ranni's in here, which I think, again, has very, very interesting lore implications. But so I do think having this right at the heart of everything, right at the womb, if you will, of the area of Liurnia here, it makes a lot of sense. And that, I think, is fantastic. I do think getting in here they could have done better. And then traversing outwards, I think they do just fine, which we'll talk about that in another video, in terms of going through Magma Lake sort of idea, or going through the Grand Lift of Dectus. So, while I don't think it's as, I don't want to say crucial, but in terms of Limgrave, have we talked about how having the openness, having the options, having the absolute choice ability, that sort of thing in Limgrave is exceptional. I think the fact that they offer two different distinct paths is excellent. I think they do a decent enough job showing you that. And I'll go to it one last time. One way is obviously leading more towards where you probably are going to go towards the story with the Erd tree. And then the other still being sufficient in the sense that, you know, obviously it's just as detailed as the other side prior to getting to the actual Erd tree level. But it also, like, you can see the scale of what you're getting into. You're going down, you're coming up. You know, obviously Raya Academy is higher than the depths here, and then obviously further over there you get into the further areas of the game, Mendel, all that good stuff, and so we'll talk about that more at another time. But in general, I think the design is it's excellent. I think that the presentation's exceptional. Like, this is certainly a wow factor, especially with the different ray tracing ideas. I don't even have ray tracing on right now, but you get what I'm saying with lighting. I really do think that if there was one thing they could have done better, it's actually oh, hi, Returnal. It's getting into the castle being a little more straightforward. Because I think that's something that a lot of people complained about, is that they don't know how to progress in the game, and so that's one thing that really made, I'm sure, some people have a little trouble. But let me know what you guys think. I do think that Liurnia is beautiful. I think it's special. There's no other level I've seen like it, and as we progress further, we'll be talking about Lindell, and specifically, I cannot wait to talk about Volcano Manor and this whole area of Mount Gilmer. So if you guys want to see some more of that, and then see some more about the Hallig Tree, the Snowy Ruins, all that sort of stuff, we'll be talking about all that. So I hope to see you guys again, and I will be back with some more. Thank you for listening, and please, 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 if you guys have any comments about level design or even the bosses and fights and stuff like that, let me know. Put it down there. I want to talk about it. I think this game's incredible. So, anyway, y'all take care. I'll see you again soon.